that's perfectly fine and everything. But what if we want to create more chord? Yeah, something with a little bit more punch. Well, we're gonna create a combinator, call this punch, and we're going to create a Thor. And make sure the polyphonic is up 13 for both, and the range about 12 for an octave. Now inside, I'm going to take off this low pass, I'm going to bypass it, and for filter 3 I'm going to turn on a comb filter, but I'm going to turn it to the negative frequencies. That's pretty rough, so I'm going to turn that to a sine wave and take it about 2 octaves down, so that way when we mess with the modulation wheel, it'll bring up the sub. So that's pretty cool. Right now I'm going to create... it's a multi-oscillator, and the one down below this one is probably, I think it's, no, I get confused with what the oscillators look like. It's a wavetable for oscillator 3. I'm going to turn on oscillator 2. What I don't like about the multi-oscillator is it has a lot of distortion. Even when I take off this third, it has too much detune. So I'm going to take all that off, and I'm going to bring down the oscillator 2 to octave 3. That's about right, so I'm going to turn on the third oscillator. I'm going to scroll through all the patches, see which one sounds right. Okay, so it turns out it's organ 2. That's pretty good. And for multi-oscillator, I just turned up the semi up to 12. And same thing for the wave tape oscillator. For the third filter, I'm going to turn on the comb again and mess with it so that way when we punch a chord, it'll sound not cheesy, but not too distorted. This is more of an FM attack type of chord. Now I turned on the chorus and I just leave it default because it adds a more wider stereo effect. Like if I were to play C, it's a much nicer, wider effect. To get this even wider, I'm going to add a chorus flanger. I'm also going to add a phaser onto this. It's also known as, yeah, it's a phaser and a unison. Before I start messing with everything, I'm just going to load up all the things that I currently need. Equalizer, after those three. Let's see, what is it? I know I'm missing something. Oh, screen for distortion, and I'm gonna put that before the EQ, and then after the EQ I use a maximizer. I'm just gonna leave it unlimited for now until we get down to it. I'm gonna take all of the dry wetness factor, and even the feedback all the way down. So that way, when we actually get to all the parameters, we'll have a better understanding. That sounds incredibly loud, and I forgot to take the screen for distortion on bypass for now. I'm just gonna mess with the certain parameters to see which ones sound good, and if they don't, I'll take it out. Feedback on 4, delay on 50, that's perfect. I'm gonna turn the rate down to about 10. So it comes in much smoother. And for the phaser, let me turn up the frequency and the feedback, see where this is. Okay, so the frequency at 52, the split at 64, and the feedback at 24. Now for the unison, I'm going to turn this on 4 and turn the dry wet about 65 and then to tune halfway, 65, 63. So now we have more of a space age feel for this chords. It can also be called a pad, but I just turned on the screen for distortion. I'm going to take it to tape and turn these to P1 and P2 halfway, take the damage range about 40. Very nice, very clean, and very cut. I'm not going to use anything of the cut or the body because we're going to do that in the equalizer. I'm going to turn on, for the equalizer, a low cut and a low shelf. I'm going to turn it down to about 100 Hz and take it about 2 decibels, 2.3, and the Q all the way off. For parameter 1, we're going to take it down to 200, 205, turn the gain all the way down, Q all the way up. 2.5 for the second parameter, 585, gain all the way down, Q all the way up. High shelf, frequency all the way down. About 2.9 for the gain and the Q all the way down. And now to take off the limiter, turn on soft clip, turn it up all the way. And for the input, put about 1.1 and the output 1.1. There we go. We have our space age chord / pad.